Well, hey everyone. Better late than never. I am literally recording this on Wednesday evening as I'm watching the sun is setting. Although there's not much sun today, this evening our storms have rolled in here to Arizona. No rain yet, but we are hopeful that we'll get a little bit. It's always good to have a little bit of that rain to liven up our desert. However, lately it's been bringing in an awful lot of bugs. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see me holding a couple Palo Verde beetles. You'll have to take a look at those online to see how big they are. And also, we found a tarantula in our courtyard, and he was just about dead, which was so sad. So I picked him up and held him for a second and then put him back in the bushes. So, yes, things are out and moving. And for some odd reason, we are having a complete infestation of these little tiny beetles here. Never seen them before. And when I say infestation, I want you to think, if you're from the Midwest, you'll understand this, the locust season. When they say that locusts come, like what I think it's every 7 years or 14 years. We're hearing people around here that have lived here all their life said it's been 23 years since they've seen these beetles. And when I say a lot, I'm talking hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds all around my back door, my front door, the courtyard, under the garage door. And they are finding their way in our home. I have vacuumed our house like 3 times since Saturday, just trying to pick up beetles that are everywhere. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. So I apologize for the lateness of my recording. And I just thought, you know what? Today's episode, I wanted to talk about motivation. And I thought, what better way to talk about motivation than to motivate yourself to start recording your podcast at 7:40 in the evening to get it out tonight. I do my best to do a podcast every Wednesday, and the reality is I do what I can. I'm a mom and I'm a wife, and we have people coming and visiting. It's summer break, so we're going to be traveling, and we have traveled. Nothing major or spectacular, just we're getting out of our routine. So then getting back into routine, or like for me, I'm cleaning the house of beetles and cleaning bathrooms and everything, getting ready for guests to arrive in 2 days. So I thought, you know what? This is a great time. I was going to talk about motivation anyways, and I thought, motivate yourself, get in front of the recorder, let's do this. So my question to you today is, what motivates you? The reason I bring this up is, as you know, for those of you that have been listening, I am an above knee amputee. And that was the reason I started this podcast, to kind of document my journey, but help others realize their full potential. Not that I'm perfect in anything I've done, but I've tried, right? And half the battle is trying and staying motivated to keep trying amidst the trials and the tribulations of life in general, but also as an amputee. So I figured, even if you aren't an amputee and you're listening, I'm really kind of hoping that this kind of makes sense to you, can help you, no matter where you are in your life. Motivation plays a big role in our successes, right? If we're not motivated, we're not going to be successful. So opposite of motivation would be being lazy. Being unmotivated tends to mean that there are people just kind of sitting around, really not living their life, just getting through their life. And I don't know about you, but I spent 5 years laying in bed, getting through life while I was having surgery after surgery after surgery on my knee, that I no longer wanted to just get through life. I wanted to live my best life. And so that was what motivated me. So again, my question to you is, what motivates you? And are you motivated? this comes to my attention as today, I've been trying to get to the gym every day, Monday through Friday at least, and tend not to feel good if I just do Monday, Wednesday, Friday anymore. So I try to at least do 4 days of the week. So maybe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever. This week, we have guests coming in Friday morning, so I'm going to try to do Monday through Thursday. I kind of just plan out my schedule based on what I know is coming. But today was interesting. Every time I go to the gym, I feel like I'm never there at the same time. I don't have a set schedule. I don't have to based on my living circumstances now. My husband's working out of the house. My kids are home. No one's having to get off to school. So whenever I get up, get myself rolling and motivated, I get there. There have been several times in the last couple of weeks where I'm like, I don't want to go. I just don't want to go. And my son would say, well, you're going to feel great once you do it. So just go for it. And so I would trudge through the parking lot and go into the gym and put my stuff in the locker. And sure enough, as soon as I started lifting and doing things, I started feeling great, listening to some good music, motivation. So today, when I was at the gym, I was kind of feeling a little burnt out. I'm a little concerned. I've got some aches in shoulder and elbow on my good side, which is the side that if I hike or whatever, I use a walking stick. You always use the side with a crutch or whatever, or a cane opposite your injury. So it's always my right side. So my right side's taken a beating over the years with all the crutches and the canes that I've used. But I sit there and I think about that, and it festers a little bit. But I also noticed as of yesterday, and working out yesterday, and yesterday was a leg day, no pun intended. I do both legs, but it primarily is my good leg, but I do try to do some things on my prosthetic leg, which is very, very hard to do. And I think I may have bumped a nerve. So needless to say, it ends up feeling like, I always have a burning sensation in my foot. Like right now, my foot's burning. Sometimes I try to readjust. So you'll see me bouncing. I'm actually on one of those big yoga balls. That's what I sit at my desk. So you might see me bouncing, but I'm always rearranging my socket on my leg. But what's happened is it feels like if someone were to pinch the inside of your knee, like if your leg was bent and someone were to pinch the skin really hard there, you'll know it's tender. That's kind of the pain I'm getting. And so yesterday I thought it was just the way my leg was in my socket, and it was the end of the day when I actually went and worked out. So when I came home, I finally took it off before bed, and that pain followed me to bed and woke me up several times throughout the night in bed. And then I put my leg back on this morning, and it was exacerbated again in my socket. And I was like, okay, for me, I guess I don't realize how much I do to avoid thinking about things. There was something I did today. I can't even remember what it was, but something I did today made me realize how neurotic I become when I'm in pain. And my temper is short. So what I tend to do is I tend to stay away from people, my family, because I don't want to take things out on them, and they won't understand why something as simple as feeling that throb every once in a while actually starts to gnaw at my mental game. So I just decided, okay, this sucks. Just go to the gym and get away from everybody, put some headphones in and just see what happens. And I'm glad I did. One, because I go to the gym, I'm the only amputee I've seen there. So I know people are watching what I do to see if I'm going to stumble or fall, if I'm in control, whatever. It's just human nature. Doesn't mean it's just kids. There are adults that will watch. And I always kind of keep my eyes open because there's usually one or two people that come and talk to me while I'm at the gym and say that they have watched what I'm doing and curious how I lost my leg. Was I an Army vet? Whatever. So there's usually one or two conversations every time I go to the gym about me and my leg. So it holds me accountable is what I'm saying. Going to the gym, I can't be a baby about it. I need to go and I need to do what I do, stay focused, and move forward. So moving forward can be hard when your mental game is being tested and your physical game is off. So today, as I was doing some workouts, I noticed some new people in there, and a husband and wife that came in, and we go to the Y, and in our area, in our neck of the woods, it's a little bit of an older crowd, but it's kind of both ends of it. All of the high school students are there now in the mornings, along with an older crowd. And so I kind of somewhere in between that. I wouldn't call myself older yet. So, I'm doing all this and I'm kind of keeping an eye on my surroundings and everything. And then, as if my playlist knew what I needed to hear, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this group, but I love them. And actually reached out to them. I would love to have them on my podcast sometime because I want to hear their story and why they do what they do. But the group is called Fearless Motivation, and they do speeches as well as music. And the music is kind of unique in the fact that it's like very motivationally charged, but it's kind of like speaking to you. And then there is some rhythmic verses that get mixed in with it and everything. And if I'm in the right place in the right time, it is the best motivator for me. And today was the day. And I was on a row machine and I was really struggling. It was one of my last sets, last exercises before I took off for the day and came home to clean and tackle the Beatles. And it was an incredible message that was sent my way. And it just like the timing, right? It's all about the timing. It was that moment, the way I was feeling, the way my leg felt, where I was at in my workout, where my energy level was, and what my thought process was at the moment, that I heard there are no limits, that we only limit ourselves. And they ask, it's like like just a rhetorical question, like, did you count me out? Did you think that I'd give up? And that's part of their speech within the song. And it just got me so, I can't even tell you what it did. It was just, it tackled inside of me and just made me grit and get through it and push harder. And I actually ended on a real high note with my workout, and I felt great when I left because I knew that I left it all there at the gym. No regrets, no kind of half-assing it. Like, I left it all on the gym. So Fearless Motivation, if you're listening, you guys rock. I love your music. I love your message. I've used some of your music to make personal videos for our football team in the past, because it is really an amazing, some of the songs are so amazing to put with video montage of like our football games and our players and things like that. And it's incredible. So, when I talk about motivation, sometimes we find it hard, don't we? We find it hard some days to get up out of bed if we're not focused on a goal. I know if I don't have a goal set forward, I kind of dilly-dally in the mornings and I don't get anything done. Then I feel miserable, and I don't like that feeling. Sometimes, like right now, like I normally wouldn't be on at this time of night as I'm yawning, but my husband is out of town. And my one kiddo's at work and the other kiddo went out for the night. So it's just me. My pups took off their collars and they're pooped out right now because we spent a lot of time outside cleaning the deck. So, I normally wouldn't do that. And I had to get motivated because it's so easy for me to say, I have this whole house to myself. This never happens for a mom with 2 kiddos and dinner time and everything. That never happens for me. So, I was ready to just hunker down, maybe grab a beer, watch a movie, maybe even a chick flick. I never get to watch a chick flick with my 3 guys. We watch a lot of shoot 'em ups or Star Wars, totally into all that, Will Ferrell movies. That's what we do. So I was all ready to do that. And that's when I sat there and went, you know, you'll feel so much better if you just get up there and talk. 1, you can talk out what you've gone through today. And 2, it'll be off your list of to-dos for tomorrow, because tomorrow is a pretty intense day with the last day of getting the house clean, meeting up with a friend, and, you know, those things. So I bring this up to you because I just think that when we lack motivation, we tend to get ourselves in a slump. And when we get into that slump, we never feel good about ourselves. You know that as well as I know that when you aren't motivated to do a list of things to get done, or even just getting one thing on something done, your list of to-dos, if you're not motivated to get it done and then you let it go for the next day, then the next day, it drains you. You know, it makes you feel miserable about it. And I know that as an amputee, speaking of motivation, you know, there's a lot of you I know out there that are struggling. And I know that you want more from your life. I know you do. Everybody wants more for their life, but it really comes down to, what are you willing to do? One of the other parts of the song that just reminded me of was, you know, if you aren't doing like 1% more, I don't even know how it's worded, but it has to do with, if you're not doing more each day to better yourself, then there is someone out there just doing that for you. They're doing their 1% more than you, and they're achieving and they're succeeding in life. And what are you going to be made of? What are you going to do? Are you going to be that person that settles and only gives the 99%? Are you going to go all in, give 100% every day? Because the moment you give up, and I'm more competitive, so it's really more about, what do I get done for myself? Because I compete against myself. Every day I compete against myself. If I did this yesterday, then I better be able to do this tomorrow. You know, and I'm always trying to one up the game, trying to motivate myself to achieve higher gains, whatever it may be. It might be getting more stuff done around the house today and pushing myself to do one more task, or it might be one more set in my my bicep curls, or more reps, or larger weight, or less weight and more reps, whatever. But I'm always challenging myself, and truly there are times when it's really, really hard, because if my leg is hurting, it really takes a toll on me, and then I really find out what I'm made of. So think about that. When you wonder what motivates you, are you the kind of person that gives up real easy when things are tough? Because isn't that life? Like, you know, when I think about the day-to-day, or I step back and I think of the last month, things have been great. But the day-to-day, if I could show you, I have a new socket. And as I've mentioned before in my podcast, when you get a new socket, there's excitement to that, but there's trepidation too, because you know exactly what's going to happen. It's like I told some people, it's like putting on a brand new pair of gym shoes and trying to run a marathon right after you put them on. You haven't broken them in. You don't even know if you can walk through the store with them, but you put them on and you just run. You're going to have wear and tear. You're going to have blisters. You're going to have sores. It's going to be painful. You might bruise your toes, whatever. That's exactly what a socket is like. And then because I'm skin fit, my leg is right in my socket. There is no room or cushion for that liner that I used to have that actually did give a little bit of cushion compared to skin fit. So what I've got going on right now is a large amount of, I wouldn't call them blisters, but raw spots, maybe that's the best way to do it. My socket is now all the way up in my groin, all the way up my thigh, and up against my back butt cheek. And that whole inner thigh and back of my thigh, upper thigh, I guess, my upper hamstring, has rubbed raw. And then I put it on the next day and it rubs raw. And I put it on the next day and it rubs raw. So showers are painful because that hot water burns. And then at night, it kind of itches a little too, but you can't itch it because it burns when you itch it because it stings and all that. But I'll find that skin's pulling off and everything. And it's tough. Like right now, it's like the growing pains again. I'm trying to get this to feel good. And so, like I said in the past, there is no normal. It's just a matter of what can you tolerate. And I use distraction to get through that. So like my distraction is putting my headphones in, getting to the gym. If I can do that, then I will at least temporarily win the battle of the pain that's going on, or the phantom sensations that are happening. When I'm busy and I'm active and I'm enjoying myself, I don't think about it, right? When we're in a good place, we don't think about what hurts. It's when we have downtime and our minds are quiet, or when we are feeling crappy, we didn't get our goals hit, we didn't finish what we wanted to do, we have a whole list of to-dos that we don't even know where to start. That kind of is how I feel right about now with the house, because it's a big house and I've still got so much dusting to do and bathrooms and some vacuuming downstairs. And I'm like, oh, I hope I can finish that all tomorrow. It'll be worth it. The house will be clean, but there's going to be a lot of work put in the next 24 hours. So, I didn't want to make today too long. One, because it's late and I keep yawning. This is so pathetic. The clouds are moving past. It looks like we're probably not going to get the rain that it looked like we were going to get. But we are definitely going to have the bugs. It's the weirdest thing, I tell you, around here. But I did want to reach out to you guys, and I did want to talk about motivation. And I wanted you to think about what motivates you. And it should be more intrinsic, right? Now, sometimes I say that I'll do something. It used to be. For those of you that know me well, I have not been doing Starbucks. I'm so proud of myself. I've been trying to kick the habit, but I didn't really just try. I just finally just gave up on it. I decided, yawn again. I decided that I'd rather have water after my workouts and not coffee. And it's so hot here, and I like iced coffee, but the milk and the coffee just doesn't make my stomach feel good. So I actually kicked it pretty easily. But that beside the point, sometimes we do external, right, motivators. We say, well, if I get this done and this done, then I have earned sitting down and going out to dinner with my spouse, or meeting a girlfriend for lunch, or whatever, right? And that's cool. You do that all the time. That's fine. If you do it once in a while, great. But internally, what motivates you? Like, do you look at your past and say, I want to do better? Are you looking at other people and comparing yourself to other people? Because that's a dangerous game, I have to tell you. We all fall to that. I know we do. I know I have. I'm guilty of it. Like, I see other amputees doing things that I want to do, and I feel almost jealous that I can't because of my circumstance or where I'm located in the world or the time frame. And I have to pull myself back and be like, slap my face. Come on, snap out of it. This is not you. You're better than this. You work on you, because every one of us is totally and uniquely different. Every one of our journeys in life is totally and uniquely different. And what we need to do is take our yesterday self and better ourselves today. And then tomorrow, look to better ourselves again. What is it that you're falling short on in your mind? Where do you want to see more success in your life? Is it with your health? Is it with a relationship? Is it with your work environment? Is it with friendships? there's so many different avenues that in our life that we can do to work on bettering ourselves. It doesn't always have to revolve around health and nutrition and working out. I mean, that's just kind of the realm I'm in right now. But there are times when I try to better myself by accomplishing a little bit more housework around here. And then I can feel like when I go to bed, I feel good about myself because it's another thing off my list and the house feels clean and I feel good. And I did better than I did the day before, because the day before I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till tomorrow. And I finally said, stop procrastinating. And I am the world's worst procrastinator. But when you try to motivate yourself, I really hope that you do some self-reflection and you look at where you're at in your life. Where is it that you're stumbling? Where is it that you don't feel like you are, but you want to be? Start setting goals. And really, I think the different thing I'd like for you to get out of today's podcast would be, how do you get yourself from point A to point B when you don't want to do it? Because that's where I've been the last few days. It's really hard to push past the pain that I've been feeling and the soreness from the socket, the pinched nerve, or whatever is happening with my residual limb that now is hurting, which is new. Haven't even told my prosthetist about it yet, so that'll be fun, another fun conversation. But it's easy. It's really easy to do things when you're up, you're upbeat, you're happy, everything's going your way. But what happens when it's not? What happens when you really are struggling? When you're down in the dumps, and it's okay. Last week's podcast was called Pity Party, so I get it. I get it. There are days like that, and it's okay to have a day like that. It is not okay to fall into a trap and make that a repetitive day after day event for you, where all of a sudden you are, wallowing in self-pity for a week, 2 weeks, and you can't pull yourself out of it, and you're looking for someone to pull you out. You're the only one you can depend on. You are the one that will get you out of the rut you're in, because only you know what triggers you to get going. And I would say that is the moment when character is built, and that's when you find out what you're really made of. Is the moment you dig down deep to say, the hell with it, and the hell with the way things are going. It's time for me to make a change, and make the change. Maybe it's cutting a bad habit out. That's really, really hard. And I know, I'm on a sweet tooth kick right now. It's driving me absolutely nuts. And, I need something every day, I feel like. But I will tell you that if you can find just one little chink in the armor when you are feeling bad or struggling to motivate, and you push through that little chink in that armor to do what you need to do to get going, you are going to feel so much better. And you might be surprised. It might be what triggers you out of that hole that you're in to push you forward to doing things that you want to do and feeling good about yourself again. So like I said, my example really was, there's been a few days that I have, sorry, my dog is down on the ground and I'm like, didn't know what that was. It stepped on my one foot. I have had so many days lately where I did not want to go to the gym. And it would be so easy for me to just be like, I'll just go tomorrow. But I did it. I did not want to be there. I can tell you that it took everything in my power to start the car, get in, go, get out of the car, walk through the parking lot into the locker room. But once I was in the locker room, something shifted in my head. I said, well, you're here, let's do this. Put the headphones in, and the next thing I know, I'm going. And I did. I felt 1,000 times better when I walked out that day. I was tired, I was beat up, I was sore, but I did it. And I was proud of myself. And I think sometimes being able to feel proud of ourselves for accomplishing sometimes the littlest task is all that it takes to keep us motivated. Sometimes it is, for me, keeping my socket on even when I feel that pain. Like right now, I'm just ready to be done with it. My foot is burning so bad. So you never hear me talk at night. I never record at night. But by the end of the day and everything I did today, between working out, vacuuming my whole house, and being outside cleaning off bird poop off all the walls, I am so tired and my leg is just buzzing with phantom pain. Like I feel like my foot is down there. For those of you that don't understand that, it feels like my foot is actually there when there's no foot. So this is that moment where I build a little more character and I say just a little bit longer, because I know with my leg on, cleaning up for the night and shutting things down to get to bed is so much easier with 2 legs than with crutches and a leg, and less issues with falling. So here's where I'm at. We're at 30 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. And before I fall asleep on you guys, man, I mean, this is bad. Gotta love, this is me. This is the real me. I give you the real me because I always say I want to be transparent. And I thought, you know what? You need to know that this is real life. No, I am not professional at what I'm doing on this podcast too. I do it for myself. And I try my best. But really, life is life. This is not my job. This is something I do for my enjoyment and to help others. And if it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm yawning, then so be it. But darn it, I got it out and I feel good about myself. So I hope this helps somebody. I hope you're reaching down inside and trying to figure out what it is that's going to motivate you out of the hole you might be in right now, or the one that might be coming. You never know. You never know. You might wake up tomorrow and be like, I just want to stay in bed all day. And that's when you say, no, I'm going to do this. Give yourself direction, at least something that you can do. So at the end of this podcast, like I do usually, is I like to do a call to action. The call to action today is to find out what's going to motivate you. And I would have to say that once again, if you don't have a list of things that you want to do the next day when you get up, granted, I'm talking from perspective of I'm at home all day. So it is really easy to get lazy or not to do things. And I am going to assume that any of my people that are listening, you might have some medical issues, or you're really struggling with certain pains, or you're at home. Just because the crowd that I'm speaking to, you probably don't get up and work every day. I could be wrong, and I'm sorry. If you're a working person and you get out there every day, then what's going to motivate you at the end of your work day? Because I know that's hard too. Speaking from the perspective of I used to teach all day, and then trying to find the motivation to do something for me was so hard. So I get it. All of us are in different places in our life. So I just hope you can take this with a grain of salt, kind of tweak it a little bit and make it work for your scenario. But for my niche, I don't work. I could easily sleep in, get lazy. I mean, tomorrow my husband's not going to be here because he's traveling. So I literally, the only thing that could get me up is meeting my friend for lunch at 11. I usually am done working out by 9. So, and then I'd have a couple hours to get myself ready and go and do or something else around the house. So I need to stay motivated. How do I do that? I tell myself that, if you get up at 6:30 and get to the gym by 7:30, you can work out for just an hour and that'll feel great. That's 8:30. You can still come back, clean a few bathrooms, and then get cleaned up and go to lunch. So that's my motivation. And that's what I want you to do. For your call to action, find out where your stumbling block is. And if you are lacking motivation, number one, you need to check out Fearless Motivation, that group. You can find them there on Instagram, but you can find their music and their speeches and stuff on Apple. You probably can just Google search them. They're probably on other platforms as well, but I use Apple Music. And I think you will, depending on your music preference, you may or may not appreciate the grit to them, but their message, listen to the words. It's incredible, and it might just light a fire under you. So give them a shout out and try them, because I think you will really enjoy that kind of motivation, especially if you're looking for something to really light a fire. So tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to think about what tomorrow is going to be. Think about what you did today. Praise yourself for the things that you did get done today. Praise yourself for the positive things that happened today. Don't dwell on anything you didn't do. Don't dwell on things you did wrong or in your mind you did wrong, because sometimes we beat ourselves up a lot more. And this ties in with everything I talk about too. Positive self-talk, positive attitude, self-love. Now that helps stay motivated. So let's talk about what is it that we want to accomplish tomorrow. And I want you to be thinking about that. Get it in your head. I've gotten to a point now where I'm really, really good. I don't write it down, my schedule, but I know exactly what I need to do. And I think backwards, right? So I know I'm having lunch at 11. I know I'm also, after that, heading out into like Phoenix. I got to go talk to my auto paint guy about a new socket, because this socket, I don't like the red, and then it got smudged right away. So I'm gonna get it repainted. I have some crazy ideas, so I can't wait to share those with you. And if you wanna see some of the color ideas, you can check out my Instagram post on Angie_Huser, and you'll see a reel I did with some of the colors out in the sunlight. And I asked for people's opinions on what they thought, which one looked the best. So you can take a look at that if you're interested at all. But then I also know that if our family's coming in Friday morning, I need to get this, this, and this done. What are the things in my house that I need to get done? And that's my list. So if my goal is to definitely work out tomorrow, I need to be up early enough to do that, clean up some of the things around the house, head out for the day, because by the time I head all the way into Phoenix and back after lunch, we're talking it's probably gonna be like 3, and then my husband gets home tomorrow evening. So I need to just know how I'm gonna space out my day. But that will at least give me a mindset of success and what I need to get done. And checking things off a list is really a great way to motivate yourself and to stay focused during your day, so you don't get caught off guard by phone calls or being on your phone, playing games, checking social media, because those things are like rabbit holes, right? You look at one thing and the next thing you know, an hour's gone by and you're like, what happened? I'm so guilty of that. It's so bad. So if you can get yourself a list, mental or a physical list, of what you plan to do tomorrow, and include in that the things that you want to see you do better. So, like I know I want to go work out tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a leg day again. And if I don't go, then I'm not going to go Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because guests are in and it's the weekend and I don't usually work out on the weekend. That's family time. Then I'm waiting till Monday again. So I know I have to get it in tomorrow. Otherwise I'm going to feel miserable, and then I don't want that. I don't want that bad mojo. I like, keep it away from me. I want to keep positive things happening, positive energy, get that power running through me, and use that for good things and positive things and successful things. So stay motivated, people. I know it's a tough road. I know the journey in life can deal you some really crappy days, really crappy moments. I understand that. I've been there, done it. I'm still in the midst of it. I always will be. They don't go away. just because you get through this trial or this trial. Trials just keep coming. So if you can stay motivated and you can get out and get things accomplished and you can feel really good about yourself and you can tell yourself that you've done well, good job, right? Then you're on the right path to having successes in your life, feeling happy, finding peace, and just loving yourself for who you are and where you are. And please don't compare yourself to anybody else. You are perfect the way you are. You were made that way, and there's only one of you, and that makes you completely special and unique. So until next time, you know my sign off, right? If you've listened before, as always, be healthy, be happy, be you.